أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Jazakallah khair to everyone for joining us on this program we have about the Georgia Tax Credit Program. Sister Jean and I will try to answer some of your questions and give you a presentation on how you can redirect some of your state income taxes to Falah Academy without any expense to you, without any out-of-pocket cost to you. So we'll start off with a short video, then we have a presentation for you, and then we'll do some Q&A. So we'll start off with a video. Sister Fozia, you can go ahead and start the video now.
Sending your child to a private school can be expensive, but Georgia Student Scholarship Organization can help make it affordable. How is that possible? The state of Georgia offers an education expense tax credit program. You donate to your favorite private school and receive a tax credit from Georgia. With tax credits, every dollar you donate, you get back dollar for dollar from the state of Georgia when you file your taxes. Sound amazing? Here's how it works. Donation pledges are accepted from June through December. Then those pledges are submitted to the Georgia Department of Revenue for taxpayer approval on January 2nd. Once approved, each donor has 60 days to fund their donation and direct it to the school of their choice. The more funds each school raises through donations, the larger the amount of scholarships may be awarded for each student. Spread the word to everyone you know who pays Georgia taxes, even businesses. And why not? Every dollar donated, they'll receive back as a tax credit, and more kids will be able to afford the private school of their choice. To participate, simply go to our website and fill out the donation form online. No assumption can be made that a donation will be turned into a scholarship for your child or any specific student. To request a scholarship, simply go to our website and fill out the scholarship application form online. Scholarships are awarded based on merit, need, and financial considerations when reviewed by the school. Then checks are sent by GASO directly to the school and parent to be applied towards tuition and fees. For more information, visit our Frequently Asked Questions section.
Yep, and now Sister Jean will give us a brief presentation about the program, and then we'll go from there and answer any questions that you may have.
Thanks, Brother Akram. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thanks for tuning in on this Sunday. Beautiful day outside, so appreciate those folks that are in front of their computer watching this. We feel very pleased to be here to talk to you about this program. So let's just dive right into it. So you have a choice, and I think many of you have heard this, for those that have been to the parent meetings and other things that we do at the school. You have a choice with your money. You could pay income taxes to the state of Georgia, or you can redirect that money to an Islamic school and earn Sadaqah Jariyah. It's very simple. You can pay it to the state, or you can pay it to the school and earn Sadaqah Jariyah. So I'll go a little bit into what the program is. The Georgia Tax Credit is a program that's a Georgia law that grants an income tax credit to individuals and corporations who contribute to a qualified student scholarship organization such as the GASO program. So that's a lot of words and a lot of big words in there, but basically what it is, it's a law that Georgia passed that helps out private schools. It's not just for Islamic schools, it's for any private school, any accredited private school. This law itself was an incredible victory for the school choice movement. It allows people to be able to afford private school, and it gives people the choice of either sending their children, essentially sending their children to public school or sending them to a private school, because it helps people afford the private school. but your participation is critical to make this victory a meaningful one, because the money is sitting out there. It's ready to go, but it needs you to activate it. Next slide, please. So how does it work? How is it managed? There's several different bodies involved here. The first is the Georgia Department of Revenue. They manage the program sort of from the top. So there's $100 million of tax credits that are available. So basically what happens is they voted, this number used to be 50 million for several years. It was 58 million. So now it's $100 million. And what that means is that the state has set aside $100 million to pay to private schools as long as people request that their Georgia taxes are redirected to the school. Okay, so the Georgia Department of Revenue has this $100 million just sitting there, and then they would approve the donor contributions on a first come, first served basis. So what happens is the donor, which is all the people that are here, that are listening, all the parents, all the supporters, everybody that wants to take part in this program, would fill out a form that says how much money they would like to redirect. And we'll use the word redirect because it's really not a donation. You're called donors, but it's really a redirection. So you would fill out a form, you send it to GASO, who is the organization that we use, which I'll get to them in a second. And then GASO will send it into the Georgia Department of Revenue for approval. They'll take it and they'll see how much of the $100 million has been used. And if not everything has been used, then they will approve an amount for you. Okay, so if you send in a request for $2,000 and there's $2,000 left in the program, you'll get approved. Okay, that's the first step. The second step is managed by the Georgia Department of Education. And what they do is they have a list of all of the approved private schools. And essentially to be approved, you just have to be accredited. Falah Academy is one of those schools that's accredited. And they manage the list of approved students. So to be an approved student, you have to be going to that school. And then they also manage the SSOs, which is the Student Scholarship Organization. Sorry, they don't manage the students. The SSO manages that. They just manage the student scholarship organizations. The state has said as part of this law, you have to use these third-party organizations to manage the program for you. That helps so that it basically keeps all the schools legit, right? So they don't, it takes away any temptation to do things that would go against the program. So you have to use this student scholarship organization, and we have chosen GASO, which is GASSO, to manage the program for us. So then GASO for us becomes the third person involved or organization involved in managing the program. They manage the donations and scholarships. So when you pledge the amount of money, you would send it to GASO. They are the liaison between the donors, the Georgia Department of Revenue, the students, the parents, and the schools. GASO are the ones that actually send the application into the Georgia Department of Revenue. They have a website that they use. So you give all of your information to GASO. The school, Falah, will not see any personal information. So we don't, when you sign up directly with GASO, we don't see your social security number. We don't see your tax return. We don't see any of that information. So your information is held very confidentially with this third party. So, and then GASO also will be the one that would send the check eventually to Falah. Once they have gathered the information, you'll send your money directly to GASO. You don't send your money to Falah. You send it directly to GASO. GASO will check the list and says, oh, okay, this person has signed the form that they want to redirect their taxes to Falah, and then the money will come to Falah. Next slide, please. So what is the tax credit scholarship, and why is it important to you? Why is it important to Al-Falah? So this was something that has been around since 2008. So this is the 6th year. This is the tax credit program was the 6th of its kind in the nation. So Georgia was a front runner in this. So it has been around a long time. Others have adopted since, but there aren't any others that that we can take advantage of because we're in Georgia. Available credits, like I said earlier, $100 million per year. That number has been growing. Its funding for scholarships come from private contributions and then sent to GASO. Donations are made and used for tuition and scholarship for private schools. Okay, so this is important. It's used for tuition only. So you can't take money from GASO and use it to build your building, right? So we can't do that directly. However, if we have the money from GASO, the money that we get from GASO, we can use towards our operations, the tuition, what the items the tuition pays for. It pays for teachers, it pays for the utilities, it pays for things like that we can use the money for, okay? But then we collect tuition from the students and we can use that money to pay for the building. Okay, so this money is super important to us. It covers essentially each student in the school gets a $3,000 voucher. So you'll see on our website when you look at how much the tuition is $6,800. But the reality is it takes about $9,800 per student to run the school. The reason that we're able to keep the tuition at $6,800 is because we have this $3,000 voucher. Okay, that's how we're able to keep expenses down at Al-Falah. And that's how we're able to offer some financial aid to folks. That's how we are able to run the school. Without that, we would have a very hard time. So what's in it for you as a donor? A donor receives a dollar for dollar tax credit. And then for some folks, if you itemize your taxes, you also receive a federal tax because it's a donation. So if you itemize, this is a donation for you. So you would get a federal tax credit and you would get a state tax credit. And the biggest benefit of all is that it's continuous charity to you at no cost. So this is Sadaqah Jariyah. Think about that. Think about all the money that you put into this program, which is not your money anyway, because otherwise, if you're not paying it to GASO, you would be sending it to the state for taxes. And then who knows what the state can do? They can do anything they want with it. But when you redirect it this way, it's going to go directly to where you tell it to go, which we're hoping is going to be Falah Academy. So think about that continuous charity, Sadaqah Jariyah, to you at no cost. Next slide, please. So, we talked about this 100 million. Think about $100 million, 100 million, what we could do with that if we were able to get all of that money. If that money doesn't go to Falah Academy, inshallah, it will go to some other Islamic organization. But think about these schools that you see. When we used to drive to Lilburn every day, my kids, we would drive through, we would drive right past the GACS, the Christian school on Indian Trail. That is a huge school. How do you think? Yes, they have huge tuition, but they get a lot of money from this program. So there's a lot of Christian schools, there's a lot of Jewish schools, there's a lot of just non-denominational private schools. Everybody has a hand in this money. So the more that we can redirect to Falah Academy, the bigger that share of that $100 million we would get. Next slide. So why do we need you? We need you to help us get that $100 million. The more we can get, the more we can put towards the expenses at the school. Now, it's a little bit unfortunate. Our participation rate among our parents has been pretty low, I would say 30% is what we've had on average over the last year. So it's 30% of parents. That's 3 out of 10 parents participate in the program. So in reality, we get a tiny fraction of that $100 million. And we know that we can do so much better. We're asking for your help to do that, either with your own taxes or with people you know, relatives, friends, the doctor you go to, anyone. The more people we have asking about the program, the more it will help us. So that's what we're asking for, and that's why we need you. Next slide, please. Who's eligible? Okay, so any donor can contribute in exchange for 100% Georgia income tax credit. So that means donors can be individuals, they can be corporations. It's set up at different levels of how much you can donate. For Georgia taxpayers, if you're single, you can donate up to $1,000. If you're married, filing jointly, $2,500. If you are an individual that owns an S Corp or an LLC or a partnership, if you have that type of business, you can give up to $10,000. If you have a C Corp, if you're incorporated as a C Corp or trust, they can give 75% of their annual Georgia income tax liability. Think about somebody like Coca-Cola, right? That's a huge corporation. If Coca-Cola gave 75% of their tax liability, they could probably wipe out the program, right? So ask at your company if they're willing to donate. I mean, it doesn't have to be an Islamic company. It doesn't have to be a Muslim in charge. Some of them are willing to do it. Some of the companies are willing to do it. But, at a minimum, you can start with yourself. And you can do your $2,500 or $1,000 if you're single. So there's opportunities all over the place for yourself and for people that you know. Next slide. How will this impact my taxes? This is probably the question everybody's asking. And I know it's hard when you hear taxes. A lot of people are saying, I don't know anything about taxes. I don't know. But we can help you with that. Basically, what you will get is a 1-for-1 credit on your taxes. So let's use an example. If you're a married couple and in 2018, for instance, just as an example, you had a 2018 tax liability of $4,000, but you had pledged and paid your $2,500 to GASO. What does that mean for you? Now, you've paid $2,500. If you've paid your tax liability of $4,000 out of your paycheck every week or every month or whatever, the fact that you paid $2,500 to GASO means you'll get money back. So if you owed $4,000 at the end of the year, and you had pledged the $2,500 and paid your $2,500 to GASO, then you now only owe $1,500. So instead of owing $4,000, you only owe $1,500. Okay. When do you get this? You would get this when you file your tax return. There's a little mistake here on the slide. It says 2010, but it's 2019. So you pledge in 2018, and what'll happen is you'll fill out the form that I talked about earlier that says, I want to redirect $2,500 of my taxes. You'll send that form into GASO. And when I say send the form in, everything's online now. But you'll go online, you'll pledge that $2,500 around the first of the year. So in this case, let's use this year for your 2020 taxes. If you had pledged the $2,500 with GASO, they would have sent in the application. You would get a letter back that says you are approved to give $2,500. So you send that $2,500 into GASO. Now when you file, so January 1 comes, or January 20th, whenever you get your W-2, you file your taxes for your 2020 income, and that's when you'll get the credit. So in this case, let's say you owed $4,000, but you did your $2,500, so you'll only owe $1,500. If you had the $4,000 looking at the third bullet here, if you already had the $4,000 taken out of your income every month, then you would actually get that $2,500 back as a tax refund. Okay, so the $4,000 you've paid, you've put it in, your employer took it out of your paycheck every week or month, you would get that whole $2,500 back. Okay. So if you owed less than $2,500, that can be split. So let's say you do your taxes, you had money taken out all along, and you get to the end of the year and you realize it wasn't enough. So you owe Georgia $1,000, right? But you had paid this $2,500 to Gasso. So what'll happen is now, instead of owing $1,000 to Georgia, you'll get back $1,500, right? Because you paid the $2,500. So they'll take the $1,000 that you owe out and they'll give you $1,500 back. Okay, so that's how it works. So there is a timing here that just want to bring this out for everybody. There is a timing that you have to be aware of. So you will submit this application. We're hoping to get people to submit now, between now and the end of the year, to say, okay, for 2021, I want to redirect $2,500. So you'll fill out the Gasso website, tell it $2,500. Sometime, if we go by history, sometime around the 15th of January, maybe the 25th of January, depending, somewhere later in January, you'll get a letter from the Georgia Department of Revenue that says you've been approved for $2,500. At that point, you'll have 60 days to pay that $2,500 to Gasso. Okay, so you will have to put the money up front, pay it to Gasso. And then when you file your taxes for 2021 in early 2022, that's when you'll get it. Okay, so there is that time gap where you'll pay the money in the front of the year and then you'll get it back the next year. So some of the ways that you can work on that is that you can have your employer take less tax out of your paycheck. You can just claim another exemption, or you can talk to your human resources person. They can help you with that. Let them know that you paid the $2,500 and you want to lower your taxes by that, or you want to lower your withholding by that. Then they can help you with that. And if anybody has any questions, Brother Akram and I, Brother Yusuf, Sister Fuzia, we can help you with the things that you can say to your HR person, tell them what they want. So we can help. Next slide. So how do I do this? How do I get started? We talked about it being online. The first thing you will do is create an account with Gasso, and we'll send you this information. There'll be plenty of emails that come out. So you just click on this link to Gasso. You fill out the pledge form, and then that's basically all you have to do right now. We're hoping that people will do this by the end of this year, so that the first of the year comes in 2021 and Gasso will submit it. Then you'll receive the letter in the mail, and you send your check directly to Gasso. Gasso does have a great feature now. I think they added it this past year, where you can pay by credit card. So they do have that option. And then you would claim your credit the following year. Having the account with Gasso, again, it keeps everything very secure. Al-Falah will not see your tax returns. Al-Falah will not see your Social Security. We will not see your income. So there's nothing to worry about there. Gasso will keep everything very private. The other advantage of having this account with Gasso is that at any time, if you need a receipt, then you can just go on and get all the information right there from the website. Okay, next slide, please. Any questions? Let's see. I see we have a few in the chat. I appreciate that. Let's see. So, Brother Akram, if me and my and my husband are filing separately. Let's say my husband and I file separate tax returns. Should we file the Georgia tax separately, or should we file together?
So if you and your husband are filing taxes separately, you would do two applications on GASO, one from your husband and one from yourself, each one being for $1,250. So we would get the you could participate at the full level of $2,500, but it would be two separate applications, one from each spouse, and yep. So two applications if you file
Okay.
separately.
Thank you. And let me add something there. In the past, sometimes, and because I know this happened with my husband and myself, that we filed jointly, but then we filed to the school through SCAD Pro, but then we also filed with GASO directly. So we did the 2,500, but the state will look at it based on social security number. So you won't both get 2,500 approved. So we had the 2,500, but they sent us two letters that said my husband got 1,250 and I got 1,250. But that's okay. When you file jointly, even if you got two approval letters, if you file jointly, then you could still apply the whole 2,500.
Correct. So we've had situations also where we even I was in that category where I filed through SCAD Pro, and I also filed through GASO's website when their site came up, and two applications went in. So I got two approval letters. That's not a problem. You will still get the sum of the two approval letters that you have.
Okay. All right. Next question. How can we pay the Georgia tax amount? Is there a credit card option? Brother Arkam?
Yep, you can pay. There's several ways you can pay. You can pay on GASO's website. They have a address there also where you can mail in a check. You can pay through credit card on their website. You can pay through PayPal credit. PayPal credit last year was also offering 6 months of no interest, no payments. So basically, you got a 6 month of not having to make any payments, and GASO would have that money immediately and make it available to the school immediately. But also, when school is open, inshallah, we will collect checks at the school. All we do there is make it convenient for you to give us a check. We mail it as soon as we get it that same day. In most circumstances, we put all the checks together. We take a copy for our records just in case it gets lost in the mail, and we mail it to GASO. So you'll have several options of paying in person at the school. Making the check out to GASO, Al-Falah is not involved. We just mail that check for you to GASO. Mailing it directly to GASO or paying online on GASO's website through e-check or credit card. They do have a credit card fee, so we recommend paying by check. But if you're fine with the fee, if you get rewards like I do on my credit card, the fee is covered by the money you get that from rewards. So there's several options for you to pay.
Okay, thank you. Will you need to look at my taxes if I participate in the program?
We at Al-Falah won't need to look at your taxes. If you need advice on how much amount you can how much you can fund through this program, we can guide you on where to look on your taxes to see how much what your tax liability was for the previous year, and how much you can participate, how much money you can participate with this year. So we generally do not need to look at your taxes. We can guide you if you need our guidance on how to look at your taxes and see how much taxes you paid last year.
So what happens if I don't pay any Georgia taxes?
If you don't pay, if you are one of the few that don't pay any Georgia taxes because of lower income, that this probably would mean having a large family and income probably around the $50,000 household income level. where you would tax liability for the state of Georgia would go down to zero. We still recommend that you please reach out to friends and family, coworkers, to help support us with this program. If every family at Al Falah was able to reach out to at least one friend and have them participate with this through this program with Al Falah and donate their taxes, it would help us tremendously. We're in the following year, the previous year we had a big hit because of COVID. Enrollment went down, and this year we have a tremendous amount of debt that we have accumulated in order to get the building completed. So we need every single parent to participate in this program. If they can't participate because they're low income, and we understand that, then please feel obligated to reach out to your family members, to your coworkers. I have coworkers that are not Muslim that because I reach out to them, that participate in this program, and have supported us for like 7 or 8 years. Friends from college, anybody, because it doesn't cost them anything. They get every single penny that they donate back. So if they put in 1,000, they get 1,000 back. If they put in the full 2,500, they get the full 2,500 back. It doesn't cost them anything, and they're helping you, a friend or a coworker. I just tell my coworkers, this is a private school I send my kids to, and this is a program where you can support it without any cost to you. And even non-Muslim friends have participated. So same thing, if you can't participate, we urge you to please reach out to your friends and family. If you have family in Georgia, there's has to be somebody that's paying taxes. Just reach out and ask for their participation.
Okay. What about my out-of-town relatives? Can I have my sister that lives in New York help?
No, this program is only for Georgia residents. So this is out of your Georgia state income taxes. So anybody that doesn't pay income tax within Georgia cannot participate in this program. We always welcome donations from anybody, anywhere, and we need it particularly now. But for this program, you have to be a Georgia resident that pays Georgia state income taxes.
Okay. Let's see. Next question. Can I pay a small portion of the Georgia tax amount that was approved?
Yes, so GASO usually will submit everybody for the full amount, which is a 2,500 for married filing jointly, and 1,000 for single, and 1,250 for married filing separately. But for example, you got approved for 2,500, but you don't have the funds to fund the whole 2,500. You can pay 1,000 of it, for example, or you can pay 500 of it just to dip your toe in the water and see how the program works. And once you participate and see that, hey, I got every single penny back, then we hope you'll participate at the full amount the following year. But yes, you can be approved for 2,500 and you can make a $100 donation. It doesn't matter what the approval and the amount you fund it at is not related to each other. Obviously, we would hope that you fund it at the full amount so that it helps the school with some of our finances. But if you can't, we understand, and you can start at a lower amount just to get started with the program.
Okay. In the past, Al Falah has offered help with income taxes. Can you still do that?
Yep. If we in the past we've said we'll help you with your filing your taxes if you need help with it. We still offer that if you have a simple tax. So if you have rental property or a lot of stock sales and Schedule Cs, we can give you guidance on how to claim the tax credit on your tax form. But you'd probably reach out to a CPA for doing your taxes. And in general, we always follow. We can give you guidance on how to claim the tax credit. If there are any issues, you can reach out to us or to GASO. GASO has been very, very good in answering any of your questions. They have a CPA that they reach out to that's on their not on their staff, but gets that they work with that answers any questions that come up. So if you have a complicated tax form and there's for some reason you have questions about how to claim this credit, you can reach out to GASO or to us and we'll guide you. But for simple W-2 tax forms, if you need help in filing those and claiming the credit, we would be more than willing to help you there.
Okay. So there's another question here. It looks like a comment about I am prepaying my taxes. So I guess the question would be, what happens then? What happens if you prepay your taxes?
Yep. So if you prepay your taxes, it makes even greater sense for you to participate in this program. So prepaying taxes, businesses usually prepay their taxes every quarter. And some people that most of their income comes through Schedule C's prepay their federal and state taxes every quarter so that they don't wind up with a huge bill at the end of the year. So if you prepay your taxes, if you fall into one of those categories, you're in a business or you're in you have a lot of your income comes from a business and you prepay just not to wind up with a big bill at the end of the year, you can participate in this program at the full amount and not prepay those taxes because you've already prepaid it. You paid it to the through gas or to the state. So so your tax liability goes down. So if your tax bill at the end of the year is 10,000 and you're a LLC and you prepay and you participate at the $10,000 level in this program, your tax liability at the end of the year is zero. So you can participate in this program and you wouldn't have to prepay your taxes for that year because you already paid it. For any more guidance on that, I would reach out to your CPA, but in general, that's how it would work.
Okay. Looks like another question here about if I donate, will my child get the full scholarship?
So if you donate, your donation and your child getting a scholarship are not related. You cannot, so as part of this program, money cannot be directed to a particular student. So I cannot donate and tell Al-Falah to make sure the $2,500 goes to my child. That's not how this program works. The money goes into a general fund and then are issued scholarships to the school. But what we're telling you is that if this program did not exist, everybody's tuition would be higher by at least around $3,000 if we had the same budget, the same number of students, and we didn't have this program. The people that do pay tuition, their tuition would be about $3,000 higher. So it does not cost us $6,800 to fund the annual budget of the school. It costs us around $10,000. So based on that, if nobody participated in the program and said it's not going directly to my child, well, it is going directly to your child, but it all gets put into one pot and then everybody gets a voucher from that pot.
Okay. And then there's a comment here about making mistakes in tax filing. Brother Akram, I think you kind of covered that. We are available to help you. Your CPA, your tax person is available. All the tax people should know about this program. If they don't, please have them get in touch with us and we will help explain it to them. And then as you see, for those that are watching, there's a banner going across the bottom. For any questions, please email board@outoftown.com or fuzia@outoftown.com. Our board members are eager to help. Sister Fuzia is eager to help. We all understand the program pretty well, and we think that we can help you.
On a personal note, I've been participating in this program since this program came out. I think it's been 7 or 8 years. I participate at the full amount and I get every single penny that I put in out again. I've shown it to friends. I've shown it to business owners. You participate, you will get the money back. There are still a lot of accountants and that are not, because this is not a regular thing, right? This is not a regular um, uh, um, this tax credit is not done by a majority of the population. It's, I would say, probably less than 1% of the Georgia population participates in this. So a lot of the CPAs are not aware of this program still. So if you're talking to your accountant and they have questions about this, this is where we ask that they reach out to us or to GASO, and we'll answer any questions they have. They usually all use a similar software. We can guide them to where on their software this credit is and how they can apply for it and get it. But the first step that we need everybody to do is go into the website that's on the screen right now, go.georgiasso.com/pledge, and fill out an application and go there. And Sister Fozia is going to go to the website right now and just guide us through bring up the website on the page and show us how easy it is to do an application. Yep. So when the page comes up, pretty simple. You select whether your filing is an individual, married, filing jointly, which most people are in that category, or married filing separately. That's if the husband and wife are filing separate taxes. Some people do that for tax benefits. Or if you're a part of a LLC or S corp or a partnership, and you have pass-through income, that means you get a K1. The people who are familiar with this, they will know. You can do it up to $10,000 or $20,000 if both spouses are part of that LLC. So if a husband and wife are both doctors and they get pass-through income from their LLC doctor practice, each one maybe in a different one, they can do it up to $20,000. If just one of them is part of that LLC, they can do it at $10,000. If you're a C corp, this is very important. So this is where we have seen in the community, especially in the private school community, like Chick-fil-A is a Georgia-based corporation and they pay Georgia state income taxes. They give millions of dollars, and we've heard at one time $3 million to the Christian schools that are just around the corner from Falah Academy. So if you're a C corp or you know anyone that is a C corp, they can give up to 75%. So there's no limit for married people it's 2,500, for LLCs it's 10,000, and if the spouse is on it it's 20,000. For a C corp, there's no limit. If you're a large corporation, they can use up all of that 100 million in just a few corporations' tax bill. If you know anyone that's a C corp, for them it's nothing. They prepay their taxes anyway. They don't, whether they send it to GASO or send it to the state, it makes no difference to them. So for if you know any people that own C corps or part of that, they can participate up to 75% of their estimated Georgia tax liability. So after that, after you select one of the top bubbles on the tax form, you fill in your taxpayer information, your address, and your spouse's. The spouse section will open up here if you select filing jointly above. Put in your SSN and your other stuff, and that's basically it. You do the school selection. That's extremely important for us, obviously. If you select another school, we do not get you do not get those funds. So please make sure you're selecting Falah Academy, Lilburn. We're very much towards the top. I think the second or third school on there, and you select the check mark, submit the pledge, and it's immediate. You get an email confirmation on your on your email that you have it, and Falah Academy gets notified that we got a pledge. We don't get notified, but we have a portal that we can log in and check and confirm that we got it. So if you participated and we reach out to you, you can say I did, and we can look on our portal and make sure that it's there, that we got credit for it. So it's important that you participate and that we get credit.
Okay, thank you, Brother Akram. I don't see any other questions in the chat here. So again, if anybody has any questions afterwards, reach out to the board, reach out to Sister Fuzia, even Gasso. You can call Gasso too. They're willing to help. Their number would be on the website. So just call any of us. We'll be happy to help.
Jazakallah khair everyone for joining us today and watching. If you were not, if your friends or your family were not able to join, please this video will be posted on our Falah Academy YouTube. You can send it to them, if they have any questions, they can reach out to us. But the thing we're requesting from everyone is that please have your friends and family participate. Please participate in this program. At this point, we're only asking for an application. We're not asking for money. This is the first step to get approved by the state for this program, inshallah.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.